So we're gonna do a quick video on how to solder. There's 100 ways to solder, and the correct way to solder is the way you don't get lick. This is my preferred way to solder. This is Eric's first time to solder. What we got is our solder box right here. We got the torch tip, a tank, some solder. This is my favorite type of solder. I don't know, it just flows better for me. And then some flux, some sandpaper, a reamer, a mirror, and this is the insurance pad for fireproofing in case we got to solder in a place where stuff could catch on fire. So this is pretty much our whole setup, and then we're going to teach Eric how to solder the way I like to solder. I know there's 100 ways to solder. The very first step is we're going to sand. So get some sandpaper and sand it. Even though this is new copper, we don't have to do it. We'll just sand that out, clean all the stuff, make sure it's nice and clean. Then the second thing, once you sand, you're gonna ream it. So this is a pretty brand new pipe. You just ream it and to deburr and ream out. And that's step number one. Just go do the deburring now.
You want me to sand the other side?
You just sand this side for right now. And what you want is to be able to like put your finger in here and not feel any like stuff. Yeah, that's what we want when we're deburring. And also on the outside, especially because when you cut with different material, it messes it up, and you don't want it to mess up the little rubber on the pro press, even though we're soldering. So that's the reason we sand also. Also, the very next thing, you want to sand inside. We have wire brushes, but we don't have a size of wire brush, so just sand inside the fitting. Because yeah, just clean all that. So usually we have a wire brush that looks like this, but this one's 1/2 inch, so I don't want to go and look for a 3/4 wire brush. You just clean that up, and once you're done with that, you want to get your flux, and flux this and this, flux the outside, and then flux the inside. And then put it in. And what you want to do is also go grab a rag and then wipe off all the excess flux. So like I said, you want to get the rag and clean all the excess flux. The reason is right now is the solder follows the flux. So the less flux you have, it's a chemical reaction where it just sucks in, so it'll follow it. So you don't want, right now you're pretty much parallel, so it's not a problem. But when you're soldering vertical, it becomes a problem. The very first thing I like to do is I heat up the pipe and then transfer the heat this way. A lot of people will heat up the right here, and what happens is all the flux will melt, and when you melt all the flux, then it won't take in. So you don't want to start right here. You can make it work on 1/2 and 3/4, but once you get to 1 inch, that's where you'll kind of get more leaks. And way bigger pipe, like 1.25 inches, 1.5 2 inch pipe, you're gonna definitely get a leak, because by the time you heat just the fitting, you're gonna melt all the flux and it's not gonna take in. So what I like to do, and it always works for me, is I start back here and just preheat the pipe, you know, and then start over here, and then you'll see it take in, and then you could take off the flame and then just, you know, take it off, and you'll see it'll just suck in. You don't have to be like once you get it hot enough, it just sucks in. Then you could just push it in and it will just suck in. So that's pretty much when you know. And I would, like, you know, I don't want to set on stuff on fire, so you can use the pad right here and just to not catch stuff on fire. And that's pretty much it on that part. And for heat wise, you want to be like super like that. So now, also another tip, like when you get the solder, it comes like straight. A lot of people like to bend it. That way you could just be like, you know, So that's a little trick. You can move this tip to make it more comfortable, like, you know, flip it. Yeah. Move more to that. Yeah, there you go. And then just preheat that. Here, grab the other hand. You see how it starts bubbling? If you start right there, you'll melt it all and it'll fall down. You see how it's getting hot? Now you could transfer the heat. And then No, still put it down, but move it over here, and then like start pushing it. You'll see it start taking in. Going in. You see how it's taking in? Take the heat off because you don't want to overhit it. Now just start hitting all the sides because it's hot enough. It'll just go in. You see how it just, you don't even have to like keep the heat on it no more. And then you could just hit it right here real quick, you see? It'll suck it in. Yeah, and then just put it right there. And then the top, and then, yeah, that's all you gotta do. And then you can check from in here if it going all the way in. Like you'll see if it's in or not. Like right here, see, you can see that you had a like pretty much full penetration. Then you could just let it cool down. You don't wanna right away like grab this, because if you grab it right away, you're gonna no, it's hot too, but you're gonna break the solder. So you gotta naturally let it cool down, and once it's done cooling down, then you could just like wipe it off. But just you'll see it flash too. You'll be like, but you just leave it. But then you can see the inside and do a little bit of checks. And then, like the mirror comes in handy when you're soldering, where there's no areas where you can't see. You could just use the little mirror and just be like, and start looking for like anything.
You can be a dentist, Lee.
Yeah, you can be a dentist after that. Yeah. But on this one, you could just spin it. You get me? But that's what the mirror is for. You'll see, and sometimes you see little black things like right there. You're like, oh, you see that one? It's black, but that's just the extra flux. And then you just wipe it off, and that's why you kind of wipe it off, and then you'll see it's gone. And then it's pretty good, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple if I teach you this way. I could teach anyone how to solder. Like all around though, not just one area. Now it should be hot enough to get out. See how it just takes in. See how you don't even need flame no more. And just go in there, check it, but you got full penetration, and you did. Just wait for it to stop. Fucking car is annoying as fuck. And then you're good. You just make sure, just let it cool down for a bit. But now you could wipe it off.
No, I'm saying, you know how I twisted it?
No, that doesn't matter because you're twisting the whole pipe. If you're just twisting this, then you'll break that.
Oh, okay.
You know, you could twist the whole pipe. It doesn't matter. But also, it kind of does matter. If it's so hot, it might just a little bit of slip. So you got to keep in mind. But you don't want to just randomly. Yeah.
What, 30 seconds before?
10, 15 seconds. I wouldn't wait that long. Like right now, it's like good. You could just be like, wiping stuff off and checking for, like if there's, like you said, those little black things, you'll think it's leaks. And then, like you said, you could just go in here and check. Like right here, you got full penetration, so you're pretty fine. You'll see.
How do you know if it's full? Oh, the
You can see the
gray inside.
Yeah, that solder went all the way in. And then you'll see, and that's on these smaller pipes, you don't really have the issue of like missing it. You're mostly gonna start having problems on 1 inch, 3/4, or where you don't have access. Where you can't fully like put solder everywhere because there's a wall or something. This is like the best case scenario because you're out in the open, so you have more like time to like get comfortable on the technique, and then you'll be good. Cause you see that's like full penetration in there. You're good.